And I think this is why people don't make big change, right? or medium-sized change, whatever it is, because they just cannot see what that looks like. You know what I think? I think that people don't make changes in their life after 50 because it just seems impossible.
Too hard.
So I was thinking the other day that I've always done this kind of thing, as in like making big changes in my life. So it's kind of been my routine for decades.
Yeah, it's been part of your life, isn't it?
But when you transitioned out of corporate life, we were talking about this the other day, about that void, would you call it a void, that you found when we moved?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I was just, I think, you know, in the corporate life, I was always so busy, never had time to do anything. It was up early in the office, leave late, you know, as we've said before, living for weekends and holidays, really. And so when we decided to make a big change in our life, then I wasn't as busy as I had previously been, but I got so used to living such a manic life.
You mean you weren't busy when we moved, when you left the job? Is that what you meant?
When we moved, I was helping you with the business, but it wasn't as full on as my job was.
No, because I designed it that way.
Yeah. But that took me a little time to get used to, really. I felt, because I wasn't manic busy all the time, which I'd got so used to that craziness, that to perhaps work at a normal pace and what people would consider normal felt alien to me. I felt as if I wasn't doing enough. I felt as if I was, you know, a bit obsolete, really. Does that make any sense?
It's called purpose. And the strange thing is that people get conditioned into their job being their purpose. It's not just job, it can be a relationship, it could be the routine that they're going through. And they think, this is my purpose in life, to get up, to go to work, to do all that, put up with all the crap and come back. You wouldn't design it and say that's my purpose, but that's what it ends up being.
Yeah.
So when you removed yourself from that, you had this kind of void because you didn't know what your purpose was anymore. And it sounds great on paper. We moved to Spain and you give up your corporate job and stuff. But what people don't realize is the transition is it's going to be different. Of course it's going to be different because that's the whole idea, but there's this void that appears if you haven't got a plan.
Yeah, I mean, it took me by surprise, to be honest.
Yeah, because we didn't have a plan. We just said, we did have the plan to leave, but we didn't have a plan for you when we landed in Spain.
No.
Because I've got the business so systemized, I've always just got up on my laptop and moved, like on holiday or when I went to Australia or whatever.
Yeah.
I've had it systemized that I could just run the whole business from my laptop. I didn't think about this when we moved and when we landed in Spain, that the idea was, yes, of course, you'd help me run the business, but we didn't factor in the purpose. What are you going to do? Because as you said, I'm not going to do the ladies what do lunch. I'm not going to just swan around. I need something to do.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't ready to retire by any means. Obviously I was helping Andrew with the business, and I had a certain amount of work, but I think, as you said, I got conditioned to being so manic every second of the working day, and my working day was not 9 to 5 by any means. I used to work such long hours.
Yeah. But that became your purpose, unknowingly.
Yeah.
That was your mission. I've got to go in, I've got to get up, I've got to
comfortable
go.
with my uncomfortable life, hadn't I?
Yeah. So I think when people are considering change, what we talk about in One Life, in the One Life Reboot, it's about that. It's about what does it look like on the other side. And I think this is why people don't make big change, right? or medium-sized change, whatever it is, because they just cannot see what that looks like. They know they don't want to be where they are now, whether that's in the job, the relationship, the town, the city, whatever it may look like. but they don't know what is going to fill that. And that's why we designed it like that. First of all, to get away from that environment where you just think that's the norm, and then get the space to think, what do I actually want to do? And we didn't do that with you. We didn't think about that.
No, we didn't.
And it's important to do it when you're, and that's why we structure the One Life reboots like that, because you could say, right, I'm going to leave my job, or I'm going to semi-retire and I want to do something else. But you got to find your purpose, right? You've got to know what you're doing that for. And it sounds like, well, I know what I'm doing it for because I'm leaving the environment I don't want. But there's more to it than that, as you found out.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I think a lot of people, and I used to say this, you know, and said, well, maybe change jobs before we decided to, you know, pack up and move. You know, I always said, well, better the devil I know. But that's rubbish, to be honest. And people do that, and I understand that. I mean, this is something that you probably don't know about me, actually. Very long time ago, oh dear, very long time ago, I was engaged to a chap, to be married, obviously.
She doesn't give me small news. This is my life.
He was violent, and not only was he violent, he took great pleasure in mental cruelty. And you know what? I'd announced the wedding, the date, and everything, and at the time, I thought, you know, it's easier to go through with it than not. Actually, I came to my senses, and that's quite extreme. But people.
But how many people do?
Yeah.
Go through with it because it's easier than to not to.
Yeah, and it is hard to make change.
It's a great analogy, even if it is big news for me today. Just normal.
It just suddenly sprung to mind, and when I look back at it now, obviously I didn't actually go through it, but how ludicrous was it that I even thought about it?
Couple of things there, right? Better the devil you know is the same as, and I'm going to do a separate video on this, it is what it is, right? It's better the devil you know, it is what it is. It lets you off the hook of change, of not having to make that change and go to that uncomfortable space. How did you, I could probably tell you the answer even though this is news to me, what made you actually stop and change? Let's talk about change. What was happening? What made you do that?
Support from my family.
Okay. Interesting.
I was going to, if I had probably gone through with it, my parents and family would have had to step away because they couldn't deal with what was being inflicted on me.
Fair enough, yeah.
So I had people to support me.
Not only to make the decision, but afterwards.
Yep.
Because that transition needs support as well.
Yes, it does. You're quite right.
And if you flip that on its head, there would people go, no, you've got a responsibility to get married. You know, you've announced it and stuff. There's people who would actually say that to me. You don't want to go down that road. But yeah, so the support.
And I think, you know, that's something that a lot of people know, that something's not right or things need to change in their life. But it's just easier to stay put.
I know many people. In different examples of that, in the relationship they're in the place that they live. What did that guy say to me the other day? It's too late now to move.
Yeah.
And I know many people who do that, and you look at it and go, the clock is running down. You haven't got time to be putting up with this stuff, you know, because it is stuff that could actually change. It's just too uncomfortable to do it, or their comfort zones takes over the pain point. Your pain point got to so much with that guy that you just said, I can't do this anymore. And I have my saying that says sometimes you have to let the pain push you until the vision pulls you. It's what you had.
I couldn't see a way out, I guess, but my family helped me find that way out, and that's what we're now doing, helping people find that way out, because it is
exactly
tough
that.
To do it alone.
It's exactly that, and it's when we think about where we are today, so we're about 20 minutes from home. Never in Jules's wildest dreams 7 years ago and beyond would she have said that this would be our home one day. right? Because she just couldn't see it.
No, I could.
It was impossible. How do you even make that happen? It's impossible. Don't want to go there. Got to get back to work. And you can do it, but you need the clarity and the space and the guidance.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's exactly how we did. And that's what we structured One Life on, isn't it?
Absolutely.
To do that. There is a formula to it. But what this is about is that people don't change because it looks impossible. You wouldn't probably be living here, and I'm not saying because of me, but if you wouldn't have probably done this on your own, would you?
No, I wouldn't have.
And it's not about me saying you did it because of it, but you had someone in your corner, you had someone who understood what needed to change and how to make it happen. Because I say I've been doing this for decades.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that's a lot. People don't even know where to start to make it happen. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without you. And you broke that down to me into those 90 little steps.
Yeah.
That made it.
It's tangible.
Yeah.
You can see it.
And as I ticked off each day and each task, it all started to become real.
You can see it. You can see it happening.
You know, even though it was scary, it started to become exciting.
Plans sound boring, right? People just think we got in the car and left. We didn't, right? We didn't. We've talked about this in other videos, but we had a plan and we had to action that plan, and then exactly as Jules says, tick it off one day at a time, and that's how you make it happen. But I think people just go, better the devil you know, so I won't make a plan.
Yeah.
And that's the tragedy. It's not me criticizing that. It's the tragedy that people want to change, but don't know how to do it. And that's what we were talking about before, about what is your purpose and what does it look like if you make that change. There's so much to it actually when you break it down. You know, there's a lot going on. It's easy for me because I say I've done it time and time again just to change my life entirely. But yeah, there's a lot more to it. Even the conversations we have, I find out things I didn't know before. But joking apart, guys, this is what it's about. It's about finding what you actually want to change. And the reason this came about, the One Life thing, right? Or a lot of it came about, is I was chatting to people and they were saying, I don't know what I want to do, but I know it's not this. And that wasn't necessarily leaving their jobs or hating their careers. It was like some of them were coming to the end of their careers but didn't want to stop. And they were saying to me, like MB said to me, what do you do and how do you do it? Because I see what you do on social media, and he's an adventurer, right?
Yeah.
He shouldn't have enough time left for all the stuff he does. He's bonkers.
Yeah.
But he said to me, I don't know what I want, but it isn't this. And that's what so many people have said to me. And I think that's the whole reason for this, is that I know something has to change, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why we do this.
And you get to a certain stage in your life, 50 plus, 60 plus, where you want that change, but you don't want to just retire and do nothing. You want that second chapter of your life to be the best chapter, the most exciting, the most enjoyable, the most meaningful.
But it's the cliche as well, time's running out. Time is running out. Time was running out since the day we were born. But when you get over 50,
it seems to go an awful lot quicker.
It just seems to go a lot quicker, it really does. I mean, in fact, we've been here 5 years, not on the beach. Sometimes feels like it when she springs news on me like that. It's 5 years and 5 seconds. But you have to find that courage if you want to change, or if you know something's not working in your life. If you're waking up and just going, it's not what I want, this isn't what I want, then you have to start doing the work, unfortunately. But the work is worth it. It is the most valuable work in the world.
Absolutely.
So don't do the better the devil I know, or it is what it is, because you'll get You'll get me on a rant, right? You don't want to rant today because it's really nice. But what did you just say there?
Don't settle.
Start making inroads. This isn't a pitch for you guys. It's trying to help you to say, start looking at, find some space to begin with, right? Just get away from the environment, if it's for a day, if it's for a weekend, so you can stop, get the phone turned off, and just think about what is it that isn't working. And when you start doing that, you go, okay, well, it's the job, it's the relationship, it's where I live. Then you can start thinking, how do I replace that? And that's the void we talked about earlier on.
Yeah.
That was something on the beach, wasn't it? Ooh. That's been a big day on the beach already.
Fairly profound.
News. Anyway,
sorry to spring that on you.
That's all right. I'm going to go surfing and work it off. Broad shoulders and all that. But no, seriously, guys, think about this. It's really important. And again, this is what we do. This is what One Life Reboot is all about, and my coaching. But it's not to say, if you want some help, we're here. But please don't waste any more time. You can change. You could, with the best will in the world and the tenacity to make it happen, you can make it happen. Hence us sitting here, isn't it?
Yep.
Sound good?
Sounds great.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate your time. Always, you watch the videos, and we really do appreciate it. We're just trying to help. If there's anything you want to ask, put it down in the comments below the video. If it's your first time here, please like and subscribe. Follow the journey. We'll be bringing more of this stuff to you, and fun as well. We do fun. We do irresponsible adulting, which is our daft stuff on our bikes and things like that. It's quite sensible today, actually, isn't it? Got in the car and came down. It is early. It is early, you're right. And I'm about to get my surfboard, so it could all go very wrong indeed. Good stuff. All right, guys, wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day you're watching, thank you, and have a great one.